Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of MJ Everyday. A little bit of a different episode for you guys today. I'm here with my good man, AJ Morris. AJ, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, great to see you.
Thank you for joining us for an episode of MJ Everyday.
No worries.
Introduce yourself. For those of you who aren't aware, go for it.
Sure, so I'm AJ, I'm 22. I'm from the UK, I'm from Brighton. It's a small little seaside town in the UK. I compete in natural bodybuilding. That's how James effectively found me through A-List. I'm a world champion, so I competed in the WNBF Worlds in last year, and I won the junior class. And currently I coach for a living as well.
Yep.
So I coach natural bodybuilders, both female and male. And I've been in the sport since I was like 16. I competed in my first show when I was 18.
Yep.
And I just love natural bodybuilding. Yep. That's what I do. That's my passion, and I love old school training as well. Yep. I'm very full of high intensity, going to failure, that kind of training. That's why I follow Doug Miller as well.
So world champion, natural bodybuilder in your early 20s, you've got 6 years training underneath your belt. What I really wanted to get you on an episode of MJ Everyday to talk to the viewers about is the issue of performance enhancing drugs. So I'm talking about pro hormones, I'm talking about SARMs, I'm talking about steroids, I'm talking about all types of PEDs that a lot of younger guys, your age and even younger, teenagers, late teens, early 20s, mid 20s, are thinking about possibly using or getting involved with essentially. And I wanted to kind of pick your brain about it because you are, a younger guy. You've achieved a lot in natural bodybuilding, and we've had a few discussions over the weekend about it as well.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, get your thoughts for the viewers on, people who are maybe thinking about going down that path.
Yeah,
What's your advice?
What I've learned is that, especially talking to people this weekend, is that it's very much down to the environment that people are in.
Sure.
So different gyms have different cultures, and whether you're surrounded by natural bodybuilders or surrounded by people that generally use drugs, will dictate the path that you feel is normal. For me, I only discovered natural bodybuilding through 3DMJ in about a year or two into my training. Before that, I thought that there wasn't even natural bodybuilding. So what I try and do through my content is boost the natural bodybuilding scene, which is why I'm very thankful to have myself on your channel. Because I can hopefully get a few more followers out of it, because I want to boost natural bodybuilding to the point where everyone knows about it. So it's certainly an option for everyone to do. So for me, it really it's controlling your environment and making sure that the first 4 to 5 years of your training is certainly drug free. Because you don't know whether your passion lies for the sport or not. Like when it gets hard and you're dieting to the low levels of body fat that's required for the sport, you don't know whether you've got the mental fortitude for that. So you need to do it first naturally, and then compete potentially in assisted later along the line. But for me, personally, I don't think it's ever a route that I'll take. So I want to be a natural professional like Doug. And until I reach that point, there's no chance.
One of the things that we see a lot at MassiveJoes is we see, a lot of younger guys who, they'll train for 6 months, 12 months, they get really good newbie gains, then they kind of reach that plateau, and the logical step forward is for them to start using performance enhancing drugs, start using SARMs or pro hormones or, steroids, whatever it may be. I mean, what's your, you've obviously been through that. What's your advice on that?
I think you need to just ignore the literature a little bit. So too many people read into the literature and the studies too much, and they think, oh, okay, well, I'm a natural athlete, so I can only gain a pound of muscle a year. I just don't allow myself to think like that. I allow myself to think limitless in terms of how much muscle I can potentially build. And that makes you feel more comfortable with the rate of progress. Because the rate of progress is slow as a natural. It is slow. But if you put a really shitty limit on yourself, like a pound of muscle a year, you're gonna want to do something like steroids, because you're gonna want the progress faster. It's why people love the first 12 months of their training.
Of course.
So, just don't set limits. Use people that very well aged in the sport. So if you look at people the training age like Brian Whitaker, Doug Miller, Philip Ricardo Jr., those are pros that have been training for years and years, and they have the tissue that they have because they've been consistent day in, day out. You know, I asked Doug earlier what he was doing when he was my age, and he was like, I was eating meals every 2 hours and I was regimented as hell. Of course, he's now a little bit more relaxed, but when he was coming up, he was extremely regimented. I think as a natural, you have to really edge out every ounce. So like with the supplements that I use through A-List, I want to maximize sleep, I want to maximize recovery, I want to maximize intra-workout performance. So try and get every inch you can naturally, and you'll make significant progress doing that for sure. Absolutely.
And then talk to me a little bit, because you know, another thing that we get a lot is people think they reach their natural limit, right? And so then at that point they're like, okay, well, for me to keep progressing, you know, whether it's a competitive athlete or they just train for aesthetics or performance or whatever it is, they kind of reach what they consider to be a natural limit, and the only way forward for them is to then, you know, start using performance enhancing drugs. What are your thoughts on that?
I think, again, it's setting this idea of limits, and that's why people use them. It's because they want to go further and they want to build more tissue. Unfortunately, there will be a point at which your progress does slow, but that's the point in which you have to be appreciable of the short-term changes that you can make. So like, as a professional, they'll look to gain that extra inch of conditioning. So like half a pound on stage off will look significantly different in a year's time. Likewise, the experience that you gain through dieting, it's the amount of tissue that you hold on to throughout a diet by dieting slower and more effectively and more sustainably. There's loads of ways that you can think about maximizing progress as a natural. And I don't think that just because you've reached a point at which gains become slower, necessarily that's your limit. I think you can keep going, keep going, keep going. There's pros that have made great strides in their late 40s. Natural bodybuilding is an old man's sport. The best people in it, the most muscular people in it, are the oldest. So consistency over time, and when the going gets tough, that's when you've got to just grit your teeth and think, this is where people usually back out. So, I mean, I can't really talk confidently about that because I'm 22 and people listening will be like, well, he's only 22. What's to say he's gonna not go on something when he's 24? But I just think setting really high aspirations for yourself. So like, I want to win multiple professional titles, and I know the amount of time that's going to take. You know, I make videos on my channel for the younger listeners about why I play the long game in terms of coming to expos like this. Of course, I'd rather turn up shredded, I'd rather turn up with abs, I'd rather turn up with a jawline, but the people that I talk about and I say like I'm playing the long game and gaining weight to make progress, they think what a coward. So you know, you turn up and you've got to appreciate looking a little bit meh for a while when you're younger to put on the tissue required to make progress. So,
absolutely, it's about having that. It's about having that long-term vision and that long-term plan, but executing on a micro level, on a day-to-day level, right?
Spot on.
That's it. One thing that you know, I'm a big advocate for. You know, when I talk to people who are thinking about going down the path of using performance-enhancing drugs, is I always say, look, have you completely maximized everything you can do as a natural? Are you training at 110% every single workout? Are you getting every single meal in perfectly? Are you taking your supplements every single day at the right times perfectly? Are you, you know, ticking every single box? Because really, if you're not, you shouldn't even be looking at, you know, performance enhancing drugs, because you're not even getting close to what you can achieve naturally, right? And I'm sure that you would appreciate that as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the basics, the fundamentals are you logbooking your training? So are you going to the gym with intent? The goal to progressively overload? Are you going in to your day with an idea as to how you're going to structure your nutrition? Coinciding with that, how are you structuring your rest and recovery? So are you hydrating well enough? Are you supplementing well around the workout? Are you sleeping well? Half of the naturals that are my age do not sleep well. Whether they're PTs, running ridiculous schedules, or they just don't fathom the importance of sleep. And I never used to, but if you want to really maximize your potential, do those things. And then like you'll see superb progress as a result of just tweaking those minor things. But like you said, it's not just tweaking that for a week. it's doing it for a year.
That's
doing
right.
it for 2 years.
Correct.
So,
yeah, and just continuing on that path, right? And I think that, if you're doing that, most people are actually going to achieve more progress than they think is possible naturally. And then the mindset or the internal argument that they're having about whether to take performance enhancing drugs or not becomes pretty much clear cut. It's like I really don't need to go down that path because I'm making enough progress as a natural athlete, right?
Yeah.
So,
and what I ask myself is like, are the people in the research studies doing everything?
Yeah.
Are they maximizing every single variable?
Yeah.
Probably not, man.
Yeah.
Like, probably not. So, and then the genetic factor as well. Like, I wouldn't say that I've got the best genetics in the world.
Sure.
I'd say that I know what my strengths are.
Yeah.
I know that I can bring really good conditioning to the stage.
Yeah.
And in like my world final and my British final, I beat people that were 20 pounds heavier than me on stage. So, likewise, when you're dieting, and if you believe that you're maybe not the most genetically gifted, play to your strengths, play hard to your strengths.
Yep.
And then you'll probably do really, really well.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
AJ, man, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. You've heard it from the man, world natural champion bodybuilder, 22 years old. AJ, man, thank you so much.
No
Where can the viewers find you?
Sure. So I'm very, very active on Instagram. So my Instagram is AJMorris_, and then I also run a membership site where I produce quite sort of high level content through both workouts, Q&As, etc. So that's at madebymorriscoaching.com. And then that's pretty much it. I have a YouTube, I had a podcast, which you can both find on AJ Morris on YouTube.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it.
We'll chuck all of those links down in the description box down below, so you guys make sure you check them out. Make sure you follow AJ and his progress as a natural bodybuilder throughout his career, which I'm sure is going to be a long and very prosperous one for you. Thank you once again, man. Guys, as always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn your post notifications on, both on your mobile, your cell phone, and your desktop PC, so you don't miss a beat when it comes to the Massive Joes YouTube channel. Until tomorrow, I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com.